Are you not having fun with your WWE 2K25 universe mode? Well, today I'm going to show you some amazing ways to shake up your universe and bring the excitement back to your WWE 2K25 experience. Let's hop into it. The first way to shake up your universe mode is through random events. If you're having trouble coming up with new storylines, new ideas, new events to happen, a Reddit user made this awesome tool which originally had 200 possible unique events, but I believe it got updated to 500, but just not labeled on the screen. So shout out to this Reddit user, WTD. So basically what this is it has random events, also some injuries that you can possibly use, but right now, just to take a look at events, hit randomize, and something happens. In this case, a randomized champion suffers a minor injury. So we can go to the minor injury tab, randomize it real quick, and we get a neck spasm. So out for 1 week, and some other stuff, points, that kind of thing. If it becomes severe, the superstar will need surgery. So for that, you'd use the severe injury calculator. And it's a minor injury, not a moderate one, so your superstar would be fine. Let's run it again, just a quick test. Ratings and attendance are down thanks to the current world champion, so maybe a promo happens. Maybe a promo battle, someone challenges the champion, calls them out for being a poor champion, not elevating the title, something like that. So those kinds of things, you can just randomize it a bunch, see a bunch of other different options. Some small, some big, some injuries. Also, if you guys get a chance, make sure to like and subscribe and check out all my other universe mode content. The second way also builds off of the first one, as we had an injury random event, but also if you don't want to do the injuries through random events, what I like to do is I like to go to ChatGPT, I go ahead and give it my roster, and I say pick a number 1 through 3. So let's give it that roster. It's going to pick a superstar. It picks Gunther and it goes number 2. I go back into here and I go, 1 would be a minor injury, 2 would be a moderate, 3 would be a major. So let's say Gunther gets hurt, leg fracture, out for 8 weeks. You can shake up your universe mode with a big injury, a minor injury, something like that, between a random superstar, so it's not up to you necessarily, as that would really shake it up. Maybe it hurts your plans for the world title scene. Maybe your world title, Gunther gets hurt, your world title champion, and then you have to vacate the title maybe, because right now Gunther's a champion IRL, so if he gets hurt here, maybe you can vacate the title and create a whole new storyline, shaking up your universe mode to something you really were not expecting. And with that, you can create a whole bunch of other storylines and really get more excited and really into your universe mode with this big change. A third great way to shake up your universe mode is through changing your roster. I don't like doing a draft. I like to do a draft every single year, and that's fun to shake it up, obviously. But what about something later on in the year that's completely random? Last year in real life, we had the transfer portal kind of thing where some superstars got moved. But is that really that fun? For me personally, that's okay, but what I like to do is I like to hop into ChatGPT and build off of that roster list that I gave it a minute ago for the injury, and instead I'm going to tell one random superstar to trade away to SmackDown. If I was doing this for my universe mode, I'd also give the SmackDown list, and then I'd have it do a 1-for-1 swap. Just for time's sake, I'm just going to show you guys right now how this would work. Pick one superstar from the superstars I gave, and Liv Morgan gets traded. So this isn't a great example, obviously, because she is in the Judgment Day, at least in my universe still. But this is a great way to just randomly shake up your roster, because Liv Morgan has been the world champion. She's been a tag champion. Really, in both of those championship scenes, so now this is a huge shakeup because you're trading her away to SmackDown, and she immediately becomes a main event player over on the SmackDown brand. This could also be used for maybe, let's say, for example, Ludwig Kaiser got traded instead of Liv Morgan. That could shake up your mid-card divisions. So really, any way I like to do this is, when I have someone traded, whether they're very important or not that important to my roster, I want to make them an immediate staple of that next brand, because if they're being traded away in a storyline, they should probably get some sort of push. And I think that's a great way to really shake up your divisions, because if Ludwig Kaiser got traded, I personally, in my universe mode, am doing like nothing with him. But if he got traded over to SmackDown, I would immediately give him that build, give him that IC title or US title push. Maybe not win it, but at least give him a match in like the main event of a show, or even a PLE match for the title, because it brings excitement of a new superstar getting a new push to really shake things up. Another great way to shake up your universe mode, besides having trades to change up rosters, is through adding new superstars who are with other companies or in free agency. So obviously you can go ahead and have your own ideas for knowing what superstars you want to eventually add. What if it's more random? This is another way I use ChatGPT. I'll give it a list of superstars. For this example, I just gave it a handful. And then basically I said, I'm basically going to tell it to pick one superstar to join a roster. And we're going to go ahead and see what ChatGPT gives it. And it decides Mercedes Moné is going to return to WWE and go to the Raw brand. Just like that, you're shaking up your universe mode. For me, I have mine similar to Raw in real life, so I have Rhea, Io, Liv. So we already have a pretty stacked main event roster there with those three really beefing it out for the title for the past year. But now you're adding a superstar in Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, bringing her back, and she would immediately go into that main event picture, battling with all those three big superstars, Rhea, Io, and Liv, for a world title. Or even if you really wanted to elevate the mid-card title, if it's not doing anything in your universe mode, you can put her there and have her work her way back up to the main event scene. Either way, however you want to book her immediately, she should be in title contention, main event scene, and you're just really shaking up that roster and adding a new element that was not there before, and it especially helps if you felt like your roster is getting stale. Maybe you went through all your big-time rivalries that you were already planning, and now you didn't really know where to go from here. Using a random roster shakeup with a new superstar can be a great way to shake up your universe mode and add some more excitement back into your mode. Another way to shake up your universe mode that I like to do after WrestleMania occasionally is with the draft. I already talked about it. It's a typical way to really shake things up. One thing I like to do is not have to draft the same format every year. Sometimes I like just drafting from scratch. Everyone's up for grabs. Only the non-champions are up for grabs. But sometimes I like to maybe, if I haven't really fleshed out my rivalries with the specific rosters yet, and there's still a lot more I can do with people on the rosters and new rivalries, what I'll do is just change the champions. That's it. Every contender that doesn't have a title, every just random superstar jobber, they all stay on the same brand for another year, but it's just the champions that really get switched. That way you're still freshening up your championship matches with your current champions getting on a new brand and facing some new challengers, but also it still really allows you to continue current rivalries that you had for the contenders and allowing some consistency. And honestly, it's a great way to really switch up the belts, because it's great to have certain belts associated with each brand, but at some point you really need to shake up, whether it's a new title to replace a title, like a universal title that got implemented, or it's just keeping the same titles but just on different brands. It just adds a little bit more of a difference, a little bit of a presentation shakeup that can just add a little bit more excitement to your universe mode. Another great way to really shake up your universe mode is with adding some more real life elements. Obviously, universe mode, even though it's a sandbox, supposed to be you can do anything you want, it still has its limitations, and one of that is really the connection outside of the mode. So something you could do is, I don't do this too often, but sometimes when to shake things up is, I'll ask ChatGPT to come up with some tweets and some maybe Instagram posts, something like that. So for this example, Seth Rollins and his faction are beefing with Gunther over the world title. Let's have it come with some tweets, some random things to really bring to life this rivalry and storyline. So here we go. Seth Rollins coming out with a little tweet at Gunther, telling him he's a placeholder and that his time's up. And Gunther is going to go and respond. And Braun Breaker even gets involved. Paul Heyman gets involved. Bronson Reed gets involved. Back to Gunther. So it's just a nice little exchange here. It really adds an element of realism to it, and really takes it a bit further than maybe just the not that great promo system. The promo system's fine. I'm okay with it personally, but it's there's no depth to it. So this really adds more to it, and this allows you to have some more excitement post-show, not try to get in every little detail in universe mode, but rather do something like this in ChatGPT to really add more excitement outside the mode and really get you more invested in your rivalries, while adding that real life element to really shake things up and make it different than your other rivalries. Another cool way to really shake up your universe mode is to have face and heel changes. Obviously, once again, like some of these other things I've talked about already, this is something that you could be thinking about and changing on your own, but sometimes you just really want to play the game and not have to put too much thought into it. So one thing I like to do is, I like to have ChatGPT really come up with these face and heel changes. So I'm going to give it the Raw roster again, at least some superstars on the Raw roster, and have it just pick one superstar. Just go ahead and have it do that. This time we'll pick LA Knight. Currently, he's kind of a tweener. He's in between heel and a face, but he's more of a face, obviously. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to turn him into a heel from a face. And the way we're going to do that is, I haven't really fleshed out the roster. I haven't fleshed out really who I want ChatGPT to really use this storyline with. But I'm just going to say use the storyline, or use the roster list I gave you and turn him into a heel. And we're going to see what ChatGPT gives us for the storyline. So it's going to be really a 1 to 3 week thing at first, where he's involved with some other superstars, and then kind of a paranoia kind of turn for a couple more weeks, and then the turn finally happens in week 6. So this is what I love about ChatGPT. It actually does a pretty solid job at creating some fun storylines that take time to build up. Because listen, obviously you love the big heel turn moment, but there needs to be a build that makes sense, and ChatGPT can really do that for you. And it ends up being this whole 10-week ordeal where eventually he gets involved and targets Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, Becky Lynch, don't know about that, but whatever. The point being, a lot of this can be fun. A lot of this you can use. You don't have to use it, 100% to a T, but if you really just want to have a nice big heel turn or face turn that really shakes up your roster and shakes up the direction of your brand to add some more excitement, I would say go ahead and use ChatGPT just to pick a random superstar, give it just small details, and let it do its thing. Because that way, once that heel or face turn occurs, that's going to give you more ideas on your own to kind of do things and not have to rely on ChatGPT or just random events. Random Redditors helping you with some great event ideas, that kind of thing. So it's that nice little mix, but also allowing ChatGPT to really change things up, build more excitement, create a new direction, especially if you feel like universe mode is not in a good direction, you're getting stale, it's getting stale, you're getting bored with it, that kind of thing. Just had some random stuff happen. It's a video game. As much as a lot of us like to have the realism factor of universe mode, shaking things up with some random fun things, in a way brings you back to what universe mode, when it first became a mode in 2012? It was that randomness, that random excitement, that kind of thing. So this is another thing that can really bring you back to the old school universe mode where just random stuff happens and you go, okay, let's roll with it. That's all I have for you guys today with some great shake-up ideas. If I missed anything, any ideas that you had to shake up your universe mode, drop them in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.